What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Social Club where everyone has a voice. I'm your host, Jacob Hale, joined with me by the amazing
Oh,
Dominick Puni.
you got it. I th-
You're good, man. You're good. Yeah, so very special guest today, and we'll go over a little bit about Dom in a second here. But before we get into anything further, just of course, like, follow, subscribe down below, comment just your thoughts, what you think about this video you have for you guys, but also the previous videos that we had. Also, you can join us on Instagram where we post every single day. And if you really want to talk to us, go ahead and join us on Discord. It's just a better way to connect with us. And Instagram's getting pretty crowded with all of your hate comments on on our sports talk. So, with that being said, again, thank you for all the support. And in saying all that, I want to introduce Dominick Puni. Now, I've known you for a long time, but I'm not going to assume everyone that's watching this is going to know who you are.
yeah.
So, to explain Dom for you in a grand, nice intro with the music and everyone clapping and everything. So, Dom is the starting right guard for the San Francisco 49ers, current NFL player. This is actually just finished his rookie year. And then a little bit of accolades about him is that he originally in college football played at Central Missouri, which is how we know each other.
Yep.
And that's the flag right there. Go Mules. But he played. I known him. I was a year older than him. He was a way better football player than I am, which is why he's still playing and I'm podcasting right now. So, um, he played 7 games as a true freshman. He was also on our 2019 team, which I always claim was the best team we've ever had in UCM history. It's kind of debatable now, but we definitely had the best offense, statistically, whatever, however you want to judge that. And then after that, he decided he was too good for Central Missouri, so he decided to transfer. He decided to transfer. So he transferred to Kansas, and at that point, he completely hit his stride.
No.
First team All Big 12 and second team All American, which is insane. Not only just for you to be doing that as an individual, but also coming out of the University of Kansas, which
Yep.
for a long time was never really known as a football school.
Yeah.
So just for you to be a part of that is really nice. And I probably have a question for that going a little bit later on your experience and everything. And then with that being said, the most important thing is he was drafted in the 2024 draft in the third round. He was the 86th pick, so
Yep.
86 is officially your lucky number,
Yeah.
which is great. But in saying all that, I would like to ask you just when you think about all that, right? So every kid wants to play football and every kid wants to do it at the highest level, right? But I just went through and I read your accolades. And even when you think about it, it's like you are actually living everyone's dream, essentially. What are Do you have any thoughts on that at all? Like, is that an out of body experience to you, or do you do a good job of still living in the moment to where it's just like, hey, like in a bad way of explaining, it's like it's still kind of like a 9 to 5. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, this is just my job. This is just what I do. This is what I have to do to be successful and stuff. So, I guess what is that feeling just with football in general? Hearing these accolades, understanding that these were all the accomplishments you were able to do.
I would say it's kind of an out of body experience, especially since I entered the NFL. Because you're like one of the best guys on your team in college, and then when you go to the NFL, it's just like right back to the bottom. And especially for me, walking into a superstar studded locker room with the Niners,
Yeah.
I'm seeing Kittle, McCaffrey, Bosa, Fred, Trent, and I mean Debo, like the list goes on and on forever. And I'm just like, wow, like I'm a nobody now. Um, so I mean, when you get to the NFL, like you think you're at the top, and then you realize like you got to restart all the way back at the bottom and climb all the way back up. Um, but yeah, no, it is a lot of kids' dreams. It was my dream growing up. So being able to accomplish it was awesome. Kind of like you said though, it is kind of like a job. Like it's how everyone like describes their work is how like I describe mine. Like it just happens to be in front of a lot of people, and like it pays pretty well. So like that like attracts a lot of attention too. But yeah, no, I love it. I'm just glad I'm doing the thing I love, and I'm still rocking with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that last thing you said is the most important thing is that you're really just doing what you love,
Yeah,
and to everyone else, doing what you love isn't always just about sports related, right?
yeah,
Like some people just like to be, let's say, a bartender,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Some people
yeah,
like to work at Lowe's. That's
yeah,
just your thing. So just finding that makes it even more enjoyable. I guess that's probably a good way of keeping everything in the moment because it's like, hey, at the end of the day, I'm just doing what I like to
yeah,
do, right?
exactly. That's
So
exactly it.
yeah, so that's pretty cool. I would like to place an apology to you because when I first heard that you were getting drafted, and obviously we knew ahead of time and all that,
Yeah,
I gave the congratulations and everything like everyone else. But the first couple things I messaged you when you started playing had nothing to do with you and your performance at all. I don't know if you remember, but I kept asking you about the people you were going against. Like you
oh,
went up against Quentin
oh,
Williams. I was like blocking
yeah.
Quentin Williams and all that stuff. So I want to apologize
No, I think
because
that's just you being an old lineman,
yeah,
because you're like old lineman, like you're just curious what it's like to block those guys. So no, I understand where you're coming from, bro.
right. I guess there's a silver lining to that, to where at least you're not around a bunch of people that's like overly pumping you
Yeah,
up, right?
yeah,
That even though you're the guy and you're playing in that level, everyone still treats you normally. Everyone's still like, hey, we're hanging out, we're having fun, all that stuff. I
mhm,
mean, we're probably asking you to buy beers a little bit more often than before, but other than that, it's still normal. Like people don't aren't coming in. It's like, the new Rolls Royce just came out,
yeah,
Dom, and then like you don't have that around you, and um, that's one thing that I noticed when I first met you. Now, I knew your oldest brother first, Derek,
there, yeah,
and Dom, or and
yeah,
Devin, and then of course, you at that point. But just your family dynamic in general, like that was probably the one of the biggest things I noticed about you and your whole family was just how close you guys were as a family, how grounded you guys were as a family. I
mhm,
mean, you're doing great things, but Derek, got signed to the Cowboys, and
yeah,
when Derek was on that Central Missouri team, he was also the man,
yeah, he was,
right? Like he was the big guy for sure. And no knock on Devin in terms of athletic career, but Devin still does great things as well too.
he's a skill position on the family.
Exactly.
He's probably the best athlete in the family, like skill position wise. So, like, and then my sister too.
Yeah,
She
of
plays
course, your older
basketball.
sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
So you really came from athletic royalty.
yeah,
And I think it's very inspiring to see that you're still grounded and just the family in general is still
mhm,
grounded. Like all of you guys, you don't walk around like you're the shit. You walk
yeah.
around, it's just like, hey, I'm just normal, just like you guys. How are you doing? How's everything going? And all that stuff. So, when thinking about your family, now you are Samoan, regardless of what Chad Ochocinco thinks. You are actually Samoan. So I guess I want to know when it comes down to that family structure, it's like, is that just something that's built into the Samoan culture, or is that something that's really just unique about your family and the way you guys connect and are there and motivate each other?
I I would give all the credit to the culture, and my dad. He just growing up, it's just how he was raised. On the island, it's not like he had a big like he was always around a tight knit group of people. It was just his family and his friends. He was never. It's a small island, so there's not a lot of outside people coming in. So when he came to the states and met my mom, who's also she was a single child, so it's like she's also very grounded and like her parents did a great job. And and that when you combine those two, it's like a great culture. My dad brought all the culture to the States, and he did a great job raising us. And then my mom just kind of added to it, and just kind of watching them when I was growing up, watching them interact with people. It starts with Brianna and Derek, seeing how they interact with people too. It just kind of made it easy for me. So yeah, I give all the credit to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of your parents, because you talked a little bit about them, what would you say was the best piece of advice, either verbally or just from what you observed, that you got out of your parents? Now, it could be strictly the mom or the dad, it could be as a unit or a situation or whatever, but what would you say was the best piece of advice that you either heard or observed from your parents?
I'll say for my dad, he was just when it comes to football, he was just making sure like you just play because you love the sport. Don't play for all the extracurricular stuff that comes with it. As soon as you stop loving the sport, that's when you stop loving everything else that comes with it. And I think that stuck with me for a while. And then my mom, um, the biggest thing she's probably taught me is just hard work. She worked 3 jobs at one point in her life, which is superhuman. And I know a lot of moms out there have done that. But it just showed me like you got to do certain things to get things done. And growing up, it really made an impact on my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say I worked 3 jobs, but I did work at Winkle Fireworks. So,
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
mean, if
remember
you
that.
if you
Yep,
work that job,
yep.
that's at least 2.5 jobs right
Yeah,
there. That's not for everyone. So,
that job actually had some those I don't think we had enough breaks, little 15-minute breaks, but
yeah, we needed to unionize. That was my biggest regret from that fireworks place is that we didn't
yeah,
unionize as a group.
we almost did.
We were close.
One of the employees like stood up for us. I remember,
Yeah.
and I think that was a hell of a summer.
One of the employees stood up for us, but also one of them was trying to smoke a cigarette in a fireworks warehouse.
Yeah,
So it messed up all our credibility because we were doing good for a while. But shout out to the everyone at Winko
yeah.
if they're watching
Was it
this.
Denise? Miss Denise?
Yeah, Miss
Denise.
Denise,
Oh.
great, great. Top 3 bosses I've had. Great woman.
Yeah,
Great.
she let us get away with a lot.
Yep,
She was awesome.
she understood.
She did. Yeah, she did.
But to be fair, when we needed to turn it on, we turned it on for her. All right,
Mhm.
we made Winko a
We
lot of
got it
money
done.
selling
We
fireworks.
got
All
it
right.
done when they needed us. We got it done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, and thinking about thinking about the football track and just being in the league here, I kind of want to get understand the NFL experience, right? Because again, a lot of people just don't know.
Mhm.
They just don't understand what it's like and how that works and everything. So I guess if you can take us a little bit on a day of a life on what that means. So like how many workouts do you guys typically do? How does practice work? Like,
Yeah.
is it is it a blocked out time? Is it separate? Like, the NBA, they'll have like separate time where it's just a position group where it's just like you
Yeah.
getting there and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I guess kind of walk me through that. Like, how much free time do you guys have? How much do you don't have? And kind of how all that works.
So let's say, boom, we play a game Sunday.
Mhm.
Monday, you wake up, you have a workout, and we have film and a team meeting. So Monday's pretty easy. It's just kind of recovery day. So that's a lift right there. There's one lift. Tuesday is the off day, but you can knock a lift down on Tuesday, so you don't have to do it on Wednesday. So what I started doing later in the season is just lifting on Tuesday and just kind of enjoying the rest of my day. So Wednesday I can kind of sleep in a little bit and then kind of so you don't have to go an hour early. So Tuesday is the off day technically, and then Wednesday and Thursday are like the hard practice days. You know at UCM it was Tuesday and Wednesday,
Yep.
like full pads and then shells. We was all praying to see shells every day. Um, but so Wednesday, that's all the meetings, the install, and then we'll do that's a shells practice, and then no, that's a helmets practice. It's helmet practice, and then Thursday, same thing, all the meetings, third down, red zone, um, and then we do the shells practice. That's like the hard practice of the week. Friday, we'll tempo it down. Helmets walk through, no contact at all, really. A lot of meetings. The meetings will probably take up the majority of the time. Um, and then Saturday, or we have another lift on Friday, so there's 3 lifts during the week. And then Saturday is the very tempo down, no helmets, just walk through, make sure we got everything installed that we need, and just kind of go over all the details. And then Sunday we play.
Okay. Yeah, and being a rookie, there's some similarities to that with the Mules,
Hmm.
Central Missouri, but also again it's the NFL, so it's probably a lot more faster paced, lot less holding your hand. It's
Yeah,
like this is what we're
yeah.
doing, show up and stuff. So, from a rookie perspective, did you have like a mentor, or was there just someone on that team that was sort of like a role model to you that you kind of looked up to and looked for guidance at all?
That O line group did a great job from like a group perspective of helping me. Spencer Burford helped me a lot when I came in there, so I give a lot of props to him. John Feliciano helped me out a lot. And playing next to Jake Brendel and Cole McKivitz, they knew the offense in and out. The center's got to know the whole offense. So
Right.
playing next to them made it real easy for me too. And then Aaron Banks, I call him the big homie. He was the left guard. Um, he helped me a lot too. It's like none of them was really like selfish. They were all willing to help, and everyone in the room helped me a lot. And then obviously Trent, anything he says, I listen to. So
Yeah,
yeah,
probably a smart
yeah,
move. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stories about the guy, and
Hmm.
you definitely have said like everything you hear about him is 100% true.
It's all true.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. I guess I'm a little bit curious about Trent in particular. Like, is he? Well, at this point, he probably knows who you are and talks to you and all that stuff. Is he the funny guy in the group, or is he kind of just like the silent killer in the background? It's like break glass if war happens type of person.
No, no, no. He okay. He is funny, but it's timely. Like he got timely jokes. So
Okay.
he's kind of like Derek in a way. I don't know. You know how Derek will sometimes just like say something
Yeah.
at a good time and it's just funny.
Yeah.
Um, but when it's time to go, like he's like a war general. Like he's definitely the leader of the O line group. He's probably the leader of the offense. Him and Purdy, for sure. Because before games, he's riling up the O line and D line when we do our little warm up,
Yeah.
and like he's serious. Like, he's about it. And you've seen like he don't play around on the field either. If someone comes at him, he goes right back at him. So he's everything he says he is. People say he is. Um, I think he's the goat. So
Yeah, I mean, you're in such a blessed position, not to really not to talk trash on other NFL teams, but obviously there are worse NFL teams you could have been drafted to, but
mhm,
you get drafted into a star-studded team. In general, seeing all those stars and
yeah.
just them walking around and all that stuff, like how did you interact with them? Were they all just like, all right, you're on the team. What's going on? Hey, I'm Nick Bosa. How you doing? Stuff like
Mhm.
that. Or is it one of those things? Was is it one of those things where you still kind of have to earn their respect? It's like over time, as you kept playing, then they
Mhm.
were more into you and being like, hey, let's talk to the kid. Let's see what he's about and stuff.
You definitely got to earn your respect. Like
Okay.
no, you can't just walk in there and like be all buddy buddy with these guys who
Yeah.
have been fighting for their life and they've been building their career forever, and you can't just walk in there and just be like you can't just be like chill and nonchalant. Like you got to earn respect. You got to play. If not, you got to be given like your best ever on a scout team. You can't be fooling around. But no, once you earn the respect, and I think I have for some guys at least, it's definitely a lot cooler because they're just kinda like, "Alright, you can play." Like,
Mhm.
once you play in a game, it's like, "Alright, no, he played." Like, and then you just keep stacking games and games, and then you kinda just talk to them more and more, and they just become more like friends, kinda like we had at UCM.
Yeah.
It's different because like, at UCM, you grow up with, like you make best friends from UCM. Um, I don't have any best friends on the team yet, but, like, good friends. Like, when I go there, like, I can joke around with them and all that, so yeah.
Right, and also it's a difference in maturity and everything. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get into a college system, you have guys like me, like I'm from a suburb in Chicago and
Mhm.
stuff. So like we're all
Oak
kind of
Park?
yeah,
Oak Park,
Oak
yeah.
Park, baby. But it's a melting pot, right?
Mhm.
So that freshman year, it's like all brand new. So everyone is like still
Yeah,
trying to find their group and make friends and all that stuff. Where in the NFL, guys will be there for like 10 years or something, then have a
yeah,
full wife and kids and everything. So it's
yeah.
like, you know, it, it's like corporate to where it's like you're kind of all friended up. Like
Mhm, yep.
there's no pressure to have to make friends in that regard. So
Nah,
I
yeah,
can understand that.
most guys have their family to go home to. It's not like they're trying to impress anybody at the,
Yeah.
they play this game to make a living, so, and to support their family, so it's a lot on the line for them.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing that's apparent with just watching you play, one thing I think a lot of people notice is really just comes down to your confidence, and that confidence translates into your performance.
Mhm,
Right?
yep,
It's that you feel like being a rookie. You feel like you've been there for like 5, 10 years, and it comes out and showing like that
mhm.
on just your decision making, the types of blocks that you're making, and the things that you're doing. Obviously, you're always learning, but
Yeah, yeah,
just with that confidence. And what I think about that is it's kind of what a lot of people were talking about with Joe Burrow. So like one thing they were talking about with QBs is like the lights were never too bright for him.
mhm,
But it kind of made sense when you look back at Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow went to Ohio State
yep,
and then he went to LSU.
yep,
Then he got drafted and went to the Bengals, right?
yep,
So, like, you're going from a world class college football team to another world class college football team to an international sports league. So, you're used to having 40,000 people scream at you and
yeah,
everyone knows your name and read your draft stuff and everything like that. What makes your ability so interesting is because for a long time you didn't really have that. You went to Central Missouri, and I love Audrey J. Walton Stadium, but on a good day, it can fit 10,000 people,
yeah,
right? It's not Death Valley. even though a
No,
lot of
yeah,
people's dreams did die on that Meals football field.
yeah, well, yeah,
But
yeah,
and then from there, you go to University of Kansas, which again, way bigger stadium, but also it wasn't known for a while as a football school. It's kind of
mhm,
getting that, so
yeah.
people would show up and it was great.
I think
But
the max capacity was 47,000.
yeah, so you'll get those numbers, but also you have the same name recognition as, let's say, other people
No, yeah,
in that town, right?
mhm,
It
yeah.
was a different dynamic. And then you go to San Francisco to where now everyone knows who you are. They know who you are. They spell your name forward, backwards. You have a Instagram fan page now where the guy's begging you to follow him. Hint, hint. But so I'm interested is like how are you able to keep that composure just from going from these levels? Because D2 to D1 was a big jump, and then D1 to the NFL was an even bigger jump. So how are you still able to keep that confidence in you to be like, hey, I still belong here, like I can make these plays and everything?
The confidence comes from the coaches. Like if you know, you show up in camp, and to me, I was like, this is it. Like if I don't, this is where I make or break the league. Like and it's not true, but like if I can't whack these guys right now, I'm like an older rookie. So like I was like, I'm not gonna just like it's not just gonna happen one day. Like you either have it or you don't. That's the way I see it. And you know, I showed up, and you know, unfortunately there were some injuries on the line, so I was kind of thrusted into the ones group, and I think that was the best thing that could have happened to me. Going up against Malik Collins and Javon Hargrave and Jordan Elliott, and the list goes on and on with that D tackle group. Um, I saw everything in the book. I saw every move they had, and just kind of be able to like you will block them, and obviously they get their wins too. But you block them, you get a win, and it just makes you feel good. Like you belong here, like, you can play, and that's where the confidence comes from. It's not from what other people are saying about you. It's from like what can you actually do? What do you believe in yourself to go get this done?
Yeah,
And the coaches them believing in me enough to start me for a Monday night football game against the Jets, like
yeah.
first game of the year, like that's confidence. Like that shows me that they think I'm ready. So I should be ready.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was a great defensive line for the Jets,
Great.
and
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' comeback game and all that stuff. Even though you guys absolutely destroyed them and ruined his
Yeah.
big day,
Yeah. Shout out.
but
Yeah. Shout out
yeah,
Jordan's team, man.
I mean he'll be yeah. Shout out to
Yeah.
Jordan's team. I mean, but yeah, Aaron Rodgers and Jordan will be all right. All
Yeah.
right, he'll be fine. Yeah, I wonder, do you have a welcome to the NFL like moment for you? Like I when everyone says that, they always talk about like just getting absolutely destroyed,
On
right?
your back. Yeah.
Right. I'm curious if you actually have a story like that. So what I'll ask is, what is your welcome to the league moment? But in saying that, you can go that way, or it can just be from a different perspective, like your first time coming out the tunnel
No,
on
no,
you
I
know
got
at
a
the home
welcome to the
games.
league moment.
Yeah.
It's
All right,
the
let's hear it.
Green Bay Packers game
Okay.
at Lambeau Field. I had 3 penalties in the first half, and that's probably the worst performance I've had in like a long time. I think I had 2 false starts and a hold, and it just wasn't a good game. We lost, and obviously, like I'm gonna put that on myself because that's a lot of yards. So I'm putting ourselves back. Um, but yeah, that it's good to have that experience. Obviously, like we didn't have the season we wanted. I'm glad it wasn't in the Super Bowl because that would have made it 1,000 times worse.
Right.
But that's a good experience to have to me because it's a big learning curve. You don't have time to rest on the details. Like you got to be on top of your game. You can't just like mosey on to the next game. Um, and they had Kenny Clark, who was very good. They got a D tackle there. Um, they just had a great defense overall, and they're a young group, and they're going to keep growing too. So it'll be a good challenge in the NFC for a couple of years, or a long time actually. Um, but yeah, I'll say that whole game. That whole game was probably just a welcome to the league moment.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I mean, Packers are always tough. Me being a big Bears fan, we
Yeah.
finally beat them last year, so I'm really,
Oh, you
really
guys!
happy.
It was the last game of the year.
Yeah, last game of the year,
The
beat
field
them.
goal, right? Yeah.
Yep. So let's think big picture here. Just moving forward, because again, you're only a rookie, yeah, and God forbid, or not God forbid, but let's all pray that you have a very long, healthy, great
Yeah.
career and everything. But thinking big picture here, when it's all said and done, if it was up to you, what are some achievements or accolades that you would love to have and just be able to keep with you when you're done playing this great game? Like, what do you dream about at this
Yeah.
point?
The biggest thing on my mind is the Super Bowl. I just I want to feel that moment and like what like when that clock hits zero and like you're on the best team in the world in
Yeah.
that year. Like I just want to know what that feels like. Because you can be the best team in the world up until the Super Bowl, but if you lose, you're not the best team in the world. Like it's just how it is. So I want to feel what that feels like because I bet that's an out of body experience. Like I just want to like look up, see the confetti, and just like wow.
Oh yeah.
And so that's obviously my first goal. My second goal, probably more individual stuff like Pro Bowl, All Pro, like that. That's what every guy dreams of,
Right.
because that's like the top of the mountain. You hit first team All Pro, like you're the best player at your position that year, the best in the world. So it's a crazy thing to think about. And there's a lot of great competition out there, especially at guard. So and I got to keep building and stacking good years together and kind of just get my name out there a little bit.
Well, you're off to a great start by only
Thank
allowing
you,
3 sacks in your rookie year, so you just keep building off of that.
thank
And
you.
you're right, there are a lot of great guards, but at the same time, a lot of the old guard is starting to retire, like the Zach Martins of the world, are getting into the back half of their career and stuff. So
Which is crazy because we grow up just thinking like how good
yeah,
he's been in his whole career, like, and to see him kind of like start. I don't know if he's retiring this year, but if he does, it's just like crazy.
he's getting near. He's getting near that moment, and then, even other names like Quinn Nelson, or yeah,
Yeah,
Quinn
Quinn Nelson,
Nelson.
Quinn Miners.
Yeah, just a lot of great names, a lot of great stars, but one of these days we'll be saying the same thing about you. So
Yeah, hopefully,
that'd
yeah.
be exciting. That'd be a great thing. So for the last part of this interview, what I did was I'm privileged in being your friend and you actually achieving things in life, which is great. So I can actually sit down and interview with you. But with that being said, you have a lot of fans outside of here that probably don't get to see you on a daily basis and stuff. So what I did was I actually went to 49er pages and fan pages and kind of just crowdsourced. Just let them know, like, hey, we're going to be interviewing Dominick Puni. Like, is there a particular question or anything you would like to
Oh, really?
ask? And yeah,
Nice.
so a lot of people commented back, and also it's part of our brand
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
want to build a community. And just like all the great people that support us, we also want to do good gestures to support them. And
That's a cool idea. Yeah,
I mean, I think about it too. Like, there's plenty of people I would love to talk to and just ask a question or something if I ever had the chance to. So just me providing that to you guys,
yeah.
no harm, no foul. I love doing that. Let me pull this up. So your favorite Instagram page, Dominic underscore Puni Lover
Uh,
44. He asks, his question was, how does it feel to be with the 49ers? So I think that's a little bit generic. So, kind of how I'm going to help him out with this question is, say one thing about being on the 49ers that you think a lot of people would not know. Like, do you guys get free catering or something? Or is there a restaurant
yeah,
next door where it's like, hey, it's free cheddar biscuits anytime you want to go in or
yeah.
something like that? So,
One thing.
let's say that's the question.
This is like not football related. So like how guys have been on other teams like all around the league.
Yeah.
Every guy I ask say we have the best food in the league. Like our cafe that we have at the facility
Hmm.
is the best food in the league. So apparently I'm getting spoiled by that. So that is probably my favorite thing outside of football about the 49ers. And then football wise, something that people don't know. Uh, I don't really know to be honest. I feel like a lot of it's public knowledge. Uh, I mean, it's a cool team to be a part of. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's great to be like I've already said it, but it's great to be around all these superstars because they have so much great advice and they've been there, they've done it, um, and that's probably the coolest thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then this next one goes to 49ers news. So shout out to you. What he asked was, what's the most adversity you have faced all season as a rookie? If you're like,
I'm gonna steer away from the Packers game
yeah.
because I already gave that answer. Greatest adversity? It's probably my AC sprain. I sprained my AC against the Packers. Yeah, so I got hurt in that game too.
Oh, well, there you go.
I sprained my AC trying to tackle somebody, and just playing through that next week was probably the toughest part, and then just dealing with it the rest of the year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last question that we have here, I forgot the person, so I
Yeah,
apologize for that, but I do remember the question is, Just outside of football, what are some of your hobbies and things that you like to do? Now, I know one of those answers, so we can throw video games out of that
Mhm.
'cause I think
Yeah,
that's
the
pretty
big one.
straightforward. But, yeah, just some other things, or just in general, what are just other things that you do like to do, just don't really have the time to do it?
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna still say video games. Like
Of course.
I've been Rainbow Six Siege lately on PC. Rocket League, Brawlhalla was like a little fighting game I play with my friends. So shout out to all those games. Uh, Basketball, pickup basketball. Like I just came from pickup, so I was playing with my brothers. That's probably my favorite thing to do outside of video games. Other than that, like I really like just hanging out with my friends and like going places to eat. Obviously I love food, so going to try food places. But really anything, I'll do anything as long as like the people I'm with are like I like being around.
Right.
But I'm still trying to find hobbies. Like I don't know, I need to pick up golf or like disc golf or whatever it's
Yeah.
called. Yeah, something. I need to find something though, because you get a lot of time to yourself in this off season. I gotta keep myself busy.
Yeah, I mean, to be real with you, someone of your caliber and what you're going to, I would honestly recommend traveling.
Oh yeah,
Traveling is just
yeah,
such a great thing to do and gives you such a different perspective on the world.
yeah. That's a
I
good answer.
I would definitely recommend that to you. I mean, I've been blessed to travel. I'm going to continue to travel. But
Yeah,
you know what's the funniest thing? I'll try to make it quick. But you know what's the most interesting thing about traveling is not even the fact that there's giant cities everywhere you go, with people living their own individual
yeah.
lives that have also probably never left that city before,
Hmm.
and you're like coming in, it's like a weird thing. But also, what else is really crazy is like, let's say you're driving from St. Louis to KC. You're going to drive and you're going to realize, okay, every 10 to 15 minutes, there's going to be a new small town here,
Yeah,
right?
our school.
Right.
Yeah,
And almost everywhere you go, I would even say in the entire world, you're going to see something similar to that, which is just so strange to you. Like,
yeah,
so I recently went to Greece. I went to Greece last year. And it was the same thing. It's like, okay, so I'm driving from Athens and going up to northern Greece. But again, every 10, 15 minutes, there's a town.
yeah,
And it's like, again, those people have probably never left that town. And to them, going to
yeah,
Athens was like a big event. It's the
yeah,
big city type of thing.
yeah,
Like, we don't go there too many times, right? So it's so crazy. And then you go to the Greek islands, it's the same thing. It's like there's like four towns
yeah,
on the island
yeah,
itself. And it's like, man, it's just the world is huge. There's so many people,
yeah.
so many different
And,
cultures and ways of life. So,
and people don't
yeah,
get the chance to get out and
yeah,
travel. So like, you're right. I do need to go. Think about like Warrensburg. How many people we met that were born and raised in Warrensburg and they're like 80 years old?
right.
They probably just never left.
I mean,
It's
at the
crazy.
very least, they never left the state, which is
Yeah,
just,
it's just crazy.
yeah.
But
And then you'll hear about like, oh, you're from Chicago. It's like, oh my God, you're from Chicago?
yeah, and then
I
you'll
got to
hear
go.
all about it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So I'm definitely blessed to have lived right next to a major city. I mean, I've lived in Chicago, but most of my time was in the suburb.
mhm,
Um, and same for you for being from St. Louis, Missouri,
mhm.
which I probably didn't mention that at the beginning, but yes, you are from St. Louis, Missouri. So shout out to St. Louis.
Shout out emos,
Yep, shout out
Emos
to
pizza.
Emos. Terrible pizza, but whatever.
Ah, no, yeah.
I know, I'm a hater, but
But Chicago has different pizza, though, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone keeps saying deep dish, but
Deep
there's
dish,
also a
yeah,
traditional Chicago style pizza, which is really good.
yeah,
It's not just deep dish. Yeah, but with that, we can wrap this up. This has been great.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to appreciate you for jumping on. My closing remarks that I want to tell you is again, I'm not the person that goes out and just throws out a lot of compliments and everything, but I do want to say, definitely proud of all your accomplishments. Wish nothing but the best for you, and
Thank you,
really just the family in general. You guys are just such a great family as a whole, and
thank you.
I feel lucky to have known you guys and just be around. I mean, I'm like on the spectrum in terms of you guys' entire friend list, but even then, wherever I go and whatever I'm doing, you guys just showing me love. Your parents show me
Yeah,
love. Do
yeah,
whatever you want, get whatever you need. You need food, all that
yeah,
stuff.
oh
Like
yeah.
you can't fake that, and
No,
you got to cherish people and families that are like that for sure. So
yeah.
I'm definitely blessed to be a part
That's a
of that.
testament to you being a good person. My
Yeah,
parents love good people, so as long as
absolutely.
you're a good person, they'll take care of you no matter what. And like I said, thanks for being a good friend, good person always. I'm glad we could do this too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I gotta definitely go out to a 49ers game, so I'll have to
Yeah,
work that out at
yeah,
some point. But with that being said, I want to thank all of you guys for checking this out. And again, subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, just comment down below what are your thoughts. Are there other people that you think we should get on? Do you have more questions for Dom? I'll think about it.
yeah.
I might not send all of them, but I might send
That's
you like
smooth. Yeah,
one or whatever.
I'm down for whatever, bro.
Yeah. But other than that, thank you guys for checking out the channel. And again, we'll see you guys in the next video.